I want to deal with this here. So earlier today, when Nancy Pelosi was being voted upon for Speaker of the House, Liz Cheney, who is head of the Republican caucus, she stood up. She's a Republican, a daughter of former Vice President Dick Cheney. She stood up and she talked about this being the 100th anniversary of women getting the right to vote. So I then tweeted about that, saying, let's not forget that was for white women. It wasn't for all women, including black women. Right. Now, first of all, you got some little dumb Republicans who tried to get all upset with me because obviously none of them have actually read a history book. Then you had some white folks trying to whitesplain to me history by saying, well, no, the law did give black folks the right to vote. Then I had to go ahead and break the history book out on they silly ass. And so here's why I'm doing this, because see, the issue that I have, Greg broke it down earlier, the issue that I have is when we don't understand foundations and how things were created and what happened when these things were created. First and foremost, yes, in August of 1920, the 19th Amendment was ratified. But let's understand that it was Southern states that did not even want to give women the right to vote. Go to my iPad, Henry. If you go to history.com, they show right here, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, South Carolina, and Virginia all did not want women to have the right to vote. Tennessee was that remaining Southern state. It was tied 48-48, and there was a Republican who got called out by his own mama saying, you better vote for this doggone deal, and that's how it got ratified. Tennessee put it over the top. And then after it was ratified, the last state to ratify the 19th Amendment was the state of Mississippi in 1984. Now, why am I saying all of this here? Because later, when Nancy Pelosi talked about this being the 100th anniversary of women getting the right to vote, and people say, well, you ain't dog Nancy. First of all, I wasn't dogging Liz Cheney. I'm trying to give y'all history. When somebody says women got the right to vote in 1920, that's a lie. White women got the right to vote. Now, even though the Constitution does not specifically specify white women, they were talking about white women because black women, especially in the South, couldn't vote immediately in 1920 and 1921. It took the 1965 Voting Rights Act for that to happen. Come on, brother. I'm trying to get us to understand that because, see, then I had to break it down to somebody that if you want me to somehow believe the 19th Amendment and included black people, well, hell, the 15th Amendment should have been enough when it came to giving us the right to vote. But in fact, the 15th Amendment only gave black men the right to vote, even though the Constitution didn't specify gender. Okay, so if that's actually, and in fact, if you really want to take this thing further, come on, brother. Well, hell, the 14th and the 13th Amendments should have all applied. So there should not have been even a need for an additional amendment. That's right. I need us to understand that we have to push back on a lot of this nonsense to get people to understand that when certain laws were passed, they were not meant for us. If we go along with this narrative that, yes, women got the right to vote 100 years ago, no, white women got the right to vote. Just like I need us to understand how white women have been able to benefit from the Black freedom movement. Because if you want to understand Title IX passed in 1972, that didn't have a damn thing to do with volleyball or basketball or softball. That was about opening professional schools up to women to be doctors and lawyers and dentists and engineers and professors. Title IX, a provision of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. And so all of these white women who have benefited from Title IX, they have benefited from the hard work of black people who got the 1964 Civil Rights Act signed into law. And so I need us not walking around letting folks just say stuff, oh, well, this was passed then. Well, no, understand, just like we just had Emancipation Day, when you, of course, had New Year's Day. But see, before you talk about, of course, emancipation in terms of the Emancipation Proclamation, you got to also deal with what happened on that particular day in Haiti. That's right. Where they also gained their freedom. Come on. And don't you understand that one of the things that white people in this country were afraid of when Haiti got their independence was that slaves here were going to do the exact same thing? I need us to stop walking around listening to his story and have a better understanding of history because it better frames conversations. And so some folks today on to Twitter who got schooled by trying to come at me, and I'm telling you, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do more of this because if y'all keep trying these games, I'm going to publicly embarrass you because I got more followers than you do. I'm going to publicly embarrass you because we need to check folks who clearly have never, ever had a proper history class. Class is now over. Scott, you got homework. All right, y'all. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered?
I knew all of that. I went to Morehouse College.
Okay, that don't mean nothing.
Yes, it does. University Law School.
That don't mean nothing.
Nothing from that soliloquy.
That don't mean nothing.
Nothing.
That don't mean nothing.
I mean nothing.
Because I guess what? You were taking some notes like, I ain't know that.
Am I your target today?
And I ain't know that.
I did
and
know
I ain't
that.
know that.
Brisbane, brother.
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
I was one of Brisbane's boys.
Yeah,
Don't
okay.
say that because Brisbane wrote all this in his book.
Yeah.
Don't say it because you clearly were napping in his class. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.